if they argue the water in the San Juan Chapter, I would like to combine add my report to San Juan Chapter. We serve the same geographic area, we serve the same service areas, but I'd like to touch on two important access roads that we would like to add to our inventory. And we met with Marjorie, and she advised us on how to proceed with that. So all I'm going to do is give you an update on exactly where these roads are located. So again, we are adding these additional roads to our inventory. One is across the community school. It's on milepost 18 on Navajo Route 36, and it goes due south. That road serves about 12 residents. Right now, it's not in our road inventory, therefore it's not maintained by the greater any form of manner. That's one road that we have on. The second road that we have is kind of tricky because it's not an official BIA road. This is more of a human service road. If you drive down, for lack of a better reference, the Zia Bar, and you're going to Farmington, you're coming down that road, you look over to the right, if you're going toward Farmington, you'll see a spillway. And that spillway, right across it, is a little fish ladder. Now, P&M established that fish ladder, and they maintained that road. Now P&M is no longer there. Now we have that road to maintain. We are also working on adding that road to our road inventory. And there are a cluster of homes located right along the road, and then it kind of sits on top of the hill. Another cluster of homes that are located there. So we're adding those two roads to our inventory. Until that time, we're kind of looking at additional assistance adding those roads. There'll be bladed roads. We're not looking at improving them in any other way as far as chip sealing them or anything like that. We just feel that they're not safe enough to do that. The road that I was talking about, the P&M road, is located right near the river, and there's a cliff on the side, so I would not recommend doing anything as far as chip sealing. Those are some of the roads that we have that I'd like to add to our inventory. However, my colleague, Sam B, will be addressing some other areas that we together would like to seriously improve. One of them will be the irrigation canal bridges. So that is actually a military bridge. One of those little grates with no side barriers, no guardrails whatsoever. We have one of those little short Head Start buses with kids in it, and the drivers cross that bridge for years now. It's not something that just happened. Some of these kids are actually in college now. That's how long those bridges have been there, and that's how long. Fortunately, we have never had an accident, at least to my knowledge. I've been there for more than 20 years now, so we've been fortunate not to experience any accidents with those bridges that cross the canal. So when Mr. B comes in, we'll address some of those roads and bridges that we have as a concern for our community. And thank you. I'm part of the road community service coordinator for you, touching the infrastructure. And thank you, panel, for allowing us to address them. And Madam Councilwoman for being here and listening to what we have to address to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. B? Okay. We will go to Mr. B. San Juan Chapter.
Good morning. Yeah, I've been studying there from Head Start. Yeah, I've been. That's the first thing you learn. I came out with this week. I don't know if you can only make 5. Did I come out with 5 or 6? But yeah, each and every one of you. Margie, Mr. Moon, Tomino, I forgot each and every one of you. And media Arya, we're close knit on our projects. I went drove around and I did some of us efficiency, especially on that 362 area. 362. That's the one that I have a problem with. It's irrigation, canal. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I worked with the road department for many years, and from the roads where all these pipes, hoses, and all these rails that they have are so close to the road. If we ever decide to upgrade the road to a chip seal, a double chip seal, or anything like that, people are not going to drive 30 miles an hour. They're going to be going through there at least about 60 miles an hour. So that's the reason why I put it on there. And I'd like to address all those. And these pipes that are sticking out, they're about 2 feet from the roadway. And if anybody hits it going 60 miles an hour, it is a hazard. These pipes that, I don't know what this is, NTUA. These pipes that they have, these blue ones, it's really a hazard on the road. If anybody hits this, then it's a liability, anything that's going on there. So, and the correction, anything to upgrade it, I would prefer to put some kind of a rail on it, guardrail, so they can bump it, at least bump it off the road instead of killing somebody. And that's the reason why I took those pictures. And then what Mr. Hart was telling me about is those bridges that we have, they're single span. And when the bus goes in there, they have to make a way up there, then straighten it out, go straight in there. So these are the bridges that we have. This is single. This is really, and it has no guardrail at all. And one of the PEP worker was putting sand on site for people to driving off and stuff like that. So we're doing everything we can. And there's a spillway right there by the Lamone area. And the pipe is really narrow. It's a 4-inch pipe, 4 feet pipe. And it curves out like this, like an S. And if we can extend it and make it straight, I think it would work. And my main concern is this one right here. This is a 12-inch cot, 3 of them. They put right by the church. When it rains, it collects all the way from N36 and along the 368 coming down from the San Juan Chapter area. When it rains, it comes down. And it goes down to the spillway for that. There's some people who live in that area. And it goes to the people's field. So they put 3 of those 12-inch pipe running across it. It does not work at all. It does not work at all. I would prefer some kind of a box culvert. At least 24 box culvert all the way across the front. If we put the pipe any higher, then you'll have a bump. So the only thing I did is I just put on leading an engineering assessment for proper size and design. That's all that's it. So I'm not a design person, so I would like to see anybody would go down that area and look at it and see what they could come out with. Other than that, 361, and my buddy knows about that one, Mr. Peterman. I work with Peterman. I work with Kelvin there. So. Okay, 361 was double chip seal that summer about this time. Somewhere in July or August. And it came apart. It rattled. The whole thing came apart. And there's no signs, no markers, nothing. And it needs to be looked at again. And hopefully we can get some kind of help with it. And from what I heard, it was a shortfall. It's what I was told. That's the reason why I didn't put no striping on it. So there are no signs or anything. And same with 365. All these pictures that came out with them. And that goes about bridges. 361 bridge is the same as 566 bridge. They're both the same size. One single span. Big bridge. That's what's crossing. And it says too narrow for bus to cross. And these emblems that's going around there, man, they really have to work on it. But 368, they're okay. It's okay. Little potholes here and there, some signs that need to be looked at. But right there by the irrigation, going north to the chapter house at night, I've got this administration that gets off, mostly ladies, girls that work in that area. They get dark in the wintertime. You cannot see anything. It rushes everywhere. So I would recommend a street light, at least 4 or 5 street lights within from the irrigation ditch all the way to the chapter house. Those are solar street lights. I think that would be appropriate for the administration for them to see, because we have people running around there, and I don't know what they take, and I don't know what they drink. They come around. They do come around, and for the safety of the administration, I would like to keep them safe. So, and I think it would be appropriate to have that in there. That's for my 368 right there. When that one was double chip sealed by the county back in that's about 15 years old. It's holding up. So, and I have this whole road that goes from my chapter house down to the west side. It's a 366. And it's the same thing though. There's a bridge right there sitting by itself. No railings, no indication, no markers. It's just sitting by itself, and people have been driving off of that. And now it goes across it. And I think that would be one of my projects to work on it, to get double chip seal if I can. And there's a lot of pipes that are sticking out, and they're only a 20-foot span pipe that they put across them. And they look like an hourglass. And it can be extended. I think it would be nice. They're only 18-inch pipes. They're only 18-inch pipes going across to the people's field. And then way at the end, right here, this is the end of that route right here, where the canal goes back into the river. This pipe is only 36 or 48 or something. And when the tumbleweeds start flowing, this thing gets plugged up. When it plugs up, it goes onto the rope. Man, there's a guy that lives right there. The whole thing gets plugged up. We have a washout so many times I would prefer something to be looked at right at the end. Other than that, now we go to N36. That starts from Chaco Bridge all the way up to the water, with the nuns and stuff. There you go. There's not much going on except mostly cattle guards, and I had 3 locations: 566, 368, and 361. And I would like to have at least that intersection to have a solar street light so people will know, especially in the wintertime or else when it rains, you cannot see anything. It gets real dark in that area. It would be nice to have it, not nice, it's just a safety light. A safety, that's what it is. That's all I have for me. And I appreciate that, and thank you, Joe. You took away our bumps. Thank you. Yeah. Now we can all drive in that area. Now we can go 80. So. Thank you very much. Yeah, looks good. And basically, okay, thank you, each and every one of you, for being here.
Yeah, I think we'll be striking that this week. Those patches will be striking in 36 weeks. We'll be done with that project.
Yeah.
These bridges, irrigation bridges. You know, one thing about a lot of these roads we're looking at, right? 361, 362, 366, they don't have right of way. They have right of way. So are they really a road or are they just yeah?
I'm understanding the irrigation don't have a right of way.
The irrigation has right of way on their ditch line. They're the one that put those military bridges, those Navy bridges. They're the one that put them there. That bridge is an irrigation right of way. Rock Irrigation District, yeah. We've been talking to them a little bit about fixing those up, but they're a whole different outfit. And I think they have a plan to do some improvements along that canal there, because the canal is leaky. And part of that, but that's their right of way. We can't touch those bridges. That irrigation right of way. We can't do anything. NQA, those blue poles you're showing us, NQA has right of way. We don't have right of way. No road right of way. NQA has right of way there. Those little blue poles, that's in their right of way too. Guess what? That's those here. That's in their right of way. NQA. Really, a lot of red tape to try to get in their right of way, right? Safety is a big issue. I agree with that. I would recommend you apply for the New Mexico Indian Affairs Fund for solar lighting. I would recommend that. And there's a lot of projects, right? Vernon got some money for solar lights, right? Who else? The Clavicle, Tedacon, Crown Point, the Rue, they got a lot of money for solar street lights for the New Mexico Indian Affairs Department. So I would encourage you to apply for that. Yeah, that's that money. You know, you still got to go through archaeological, biological, and all that red tape before we can actually do the installation of that. But your design is almost done. I think your design is done. We're looking for some more money to fund it. But I agree that, you know, and then like 362. 362 is the irrigation road. A long time ago, they built it for the channel that runs right there. Now all of a sudden everybody's driving on it, and it's a public road now. That's why all those pipes are too small. That's why they just put it there just so their work trucks can go up and down. But now it's like a public road now, so it's just still complicated there. And I don't know why one is falling apart. You guys, you know on it or what? But yeah, we'll look at it. We'll take a look at it. Right, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Calvin Castillo. Put a TV, shoot off, special TV, put CDs on my shades and telephone on my nose. I'm actually a friend of mine right now, but in 1991, I started with the BIA. I was in the design group. I designed 57. That was my design. Then I did the survey on 15 the survey section. So I've been in 96. I took over Fort France. I was a Fort France agency for a while. Then I went out to Block 9 and worked with Sandy. Was that there? The orchestra. I'm just going to go over these routes. They're not on anybody's inventory. The first thing the council needs to do is gravel, chip seal. They need to put some type of code that has to meet some type of standard. If we're just throwing roads in there, there's no safety issue. If somebody has an accident, there's nobody to blame or the other. So you got to meet some type of disaster. Then you know where to place the signs. They call it a recovery zone. That's where they put the signs up. Today's like the city is too close. Being that there's no signs on the bridges. I was just showing Tom. They should be having bridge signs like this. I don't know if you can see it, but those should be installed. And if these bridges were on the bridge inventory stuff, they would have been eligible for some bridge money. There's a lot of money in the bridge right now. So that's what Darrell was. He's doing a lot of that. A lot of these bridges, these daily bridges, they were just military bridges. They were just for military access. They really don't know how long these bridges were going to last. So they call them critical factor bridges. Those are the ones that should be replaced first on the inventory, if it's on somebody's inventory. Okay? So the first thing is the council needs to find some type of design standard for these low volume roads we need to meet. So if you need a 15, 25 mile per hour, you still going to have real curvy roads. As it gets higher, it's going to get straightened out. The culvert's going to be. Looks like there's no drainage too. Usually the BIA designs for 25-year flood. The bridges you get are 75-year floods. So those types need to be standardized on these low volume roads. And then there's no way you're going to put 18-inch culvert under that. Those plug up easy. And the one for 57, that road should have been about 4 feet high because it's in a big sheet flow area. Those culverts should have been bigger. It's like the snow, like the overruled one. You're going to save costs is bury the culverts. So that's why you see a lot of those drainage problems like that. And back then, they didn't have HackRAS, all of these software that they used for drainage. We used to give those USDS charts. Of course, that's very calculated based on that. So, and last thing I'm going to say is most of these roads are way beyond their design standards. They're only designed for 25, 30 years. So they serve a lot of these should be replaced. So back at that time when the iced tea first came out, the navigation used to get 33%. 72 million is what we used to get. But as people start looking at PIA or the navigation, if you see that road from Port Defiance to Windrock, that 4-lane, you about something. Federal Highways came out of us and said, you guys don't need that. You over-design, you split the money. The lady that audited us, she started working for Alaska trucks. They use that against us. That's why the percentage started coming. Now we only get 8% of the top. Even though it's funded at 670 million, 8% won't convert to 54 million. If we were still at 33%, we would have been at 170 people for 20 million a year. A bragging foundation. So, when I talked to Federal Highway, I said, a lot of these roads are built out there. There's no way we're going to pick up, especially they're way beyond the design standard. So they're going to try to fit in a stimulus package for that one, which is to fix up the road. But we need leadership now. Anyway, thank you.
Good morning. Leanne Roy from Transportation Planning. Sisakani Shlona Perana Bashishin. Rosh Shade Bethlehem. Rosh Anala Machine. So, with the AETs that were handed out earlier this morning, so with those black hoses that are put out on the roads there, when you pass over, we count the traffic. So those black hoses and those counters help your community. So please let your community know, don't put those hoses, because what those black hoses do is help out with all these projects, culverts, roads, earth road to gravel, or gravel to chip seal, or chip seal to asphalt. Those hoses are the most important data connectors. Navajo DOT, we are data driven. How many vehicles go down those roads? So how we prioritize, you may ask, well, how do you know if you're going to just blade? How do you know you're just going to stabilize or just gravel? It's all based on traffic data. So we put those hoses out on Tuesday, and it sits out there all week into the weekend, and then our technicians go back out there and pick them up. And they're just small little boxes, but people vandalize those boxes also. They use it for target shooting. They steal them. I don't know why they would steal them. It's just what do you call it? Electronic, motherboards. So it's just one little tiny motherboard. And that thing can count if there's a bus that goes over it, if a truck with a flatbed is going over it, it can count if there's a semi, a car. So how we prioritize with those black counter hoses is, if there's 100 vehicles that go down that route in those 7 days, then that route will qualify for blading. But keep in mind that route has to be in our inventory also. Now, if you want a road to be asphalt, then the traffic down that road has to be 1,000 vehicles in 1 week. That's how we determine with the amount of funding that we have. We have to prioritize. We have to be able, we can't do this peanut butter effect where everybody, I tease everybody and say, okay, so you get a bridge and you get a bridge. You can't do the Oprah effect here. We have to be able to prioritize which bridges are we going to fix out there, which roads are we going to hit, which culverts are we going to hit, all based on that black willow hose traffic counts. So please let your community know, this is how we prioritize, this is how we determine what the surface type is going to look like in the future. Thank you.
Well, one of the things that you know is, I'm glad you guys are doing travel. We got a deputy that will be starting on Monday, and her job is going to be to develop adequate material. So I'll make sure that she contacts you guys for some rocks.
Yes, we have a whole lot. The problem I had with mining on the nation is they said you have to have a mining permit. The thing is, comes to us, we don't have the money.
Money. We all get very technical and describe it. So, but I'll have her contact you. Her name is Shelby Daisy. So I will have the contact. The other one is there is bridge money. For those of you that want to add bridges, right now there's a big push by McKinley County. We're trying to get as many of those in, but there's a procedure that has to follow it in, and it all goes back to inventory. So the one that wanted to add inventory in, one of the things that we're trying to clarify is what rules do we have to play by when we use these federal highwaymen. When I was here the week before, that's when we took over the construction part of it. Okay? But in the definition for maintenance, if this is the culvert, you can only replace it the same size. If you make the culvert bigger, then you have to go through all the clearances, all the studies to make that change in about 100%. And the cost for it to just replace this one is maintenance. To upsize it is road improvement. So you can't use your maintenance dollars for road improvement. Okay? That has to come out of the T-tip money that's there. So T-tip, there's a formula, and Mr. Castillo kind of alluded to it. We're stuck in that process. Inventory, the gentleman here wants to add inventory in that. Even if we add it in and increase the inventory amount, it's not going to produce additional amounts because the way the formula distribution is done, it locked in the inventory from 2013. So even if our inventory increases, the allocation that we get isn't going to increase. The responsibility is going to increase because it's on our inventory and we're going to have to work with it. The other part that we have to work with our oversight on is how do we separate the money that we get, 58 million a year that we get of T-tip money. When I look at the list right now there's money for Codovina, 85,000, $4 million, Red Valley, 13, 5,250,000, Codovina, 5001, $10 million, Sanoski, 5012, 3,700,000. And there's safety money for M36. M36 is all federally highway funded. We have to figure out a way that we can use that money that we get to separate out what is going to be new construction now. And then rehabilitation of these routes. Remember somebody said they have a road that only has a 2-inch of stuff. To upgrade it, it has to come from that T-tip money. But what do we take off to put that one on? So, Mr. Castillo, when you said earlier, these roads were only designed for a certain life. So think of all the advancements that have been made since that time. I remember when we were doing I'm on N12, so N12, I'm 56 years old, or 59, I'm lying about my age. I can't remember my old age. I just turned 59.
I'm 21.
That road was probably built in
N12 was built in section, the first one, and Fort Navajo was.
Well, Fort Navajo was the one I did when I was president, it was 95. And then we went south from 2000 to 16 something. So that road was as old as I am.
That's young.
So that road, I think we had in the neck. So that tells you how long it took
and that's probably a $60 to $70 million project to rehab it. So that road was constructed probably around the time I was maybe 2 or 3 years old. I think it's got replacement there. You hit up the optic A at the N13, there's a cost to it. N36, there's a cost to it. So where did we pull that one from? So that's the difficulty of it, is everybody wants to have it done. Touching case, but we really need to understand this from them. Everybody wants their road paved, but once we get it paved, I'll give you an example. We were just in Toluna last week, and remember said that 1,089? So they just did that real quick construction of N20. The area to, they said it's a dangerous road because Google Maps is routing people on the N20 to get Antelope Point, the resort. Ako Pajo at Sinaya, Google is routing them through there, and those tourists, some of them get on an in route. What was it? You found somebody out in some European family out there in the middle of nowhere that had a flat tire. They were trying to get surface. Good luck. But the difficulty of it is so the land touch every often. But we have to try to spread it out between people that want new routes that have 1,000. When we were in Toluna, there was one section where there's 15 families with it. They said that live out here. We gotta pay it, but no. It was 16 miles, but that 16 miles would cost $68 million to service those 15 families. So that's why we have to do a lot more work with the chapters to have you understand all these funding structures there. The formula there, there was a training in Quinn Arrow out of the guy that does the actual distribution of it. He teaches it on the ADP, Adnan get it, the court of the weaker. How do you make achieve? Yeah, have the negative scope. Neck at all. I thought we need the snorkel that we got. A quiet army is for which we think that. I live up with some of Hananta, Hadi Hananta, passing out of the Hanata. And the bad part about this is we really need to start working with our legislators to do something to change that formula. Because and I sound like a cat, our needs at Navajo are different than anybody else. When I was at legislative, one of the things I only got interviewed by Navajo Times 3 times in my 8 years. And one of the times I got interviewed was that the lady that was interviewing me, this for me, she asked me which one of the legislations that they introduced to you is the most important. And I said all of them because somebody took the time to actually introduce it. But just all of the requests that you're asking are all important. But how do we fit it into that smaller pot of money that's coming out there? So we really need to work to revise this one to get that. The other one is, I just got appointed to the Transportation Coordinating Committee that provides recommendations on these. And the people that sit on that committee, I have to do my job and educate them on what Navajo's true needs are, because I don't think that has been shared with them. So those are some of the things we're working on. The other one is by the middle of June, the first part of July, we're going to have we're going to add to our website where you'll be able to track all of your projects. So all the projects that Mr. Peterman is working on with the state fund, you'll be able to see where those are at. All the ARPA money right now, we know of 4. There might be another one that's being added to it that's there. They'll be able to track those. All of the internal projects that we're doing, all the federal highway projects that we're doing, all of the projects that Mr. Peterman's section is undertaking, all of the projects that Mr. Lee's section is all undertaking, they are sacrificed with that. Because what I'm finding is that chapters are getting back the information on their projects. The other part of it is we need to kind of Be careful of an update meeting because those contractors, the people that design it, they place a button that takes away from your construction dollars. So when you have listening, a bid will come out, their clock starts from when they leave Albuquerque or when they leave Phoenix. The travel here, the lodging here, the meals here, those are all billable hours that we pay for every time we do one of those updates. So that's money that you're taking away from your construction dollar, you're putting it on to the what we call those meetings. So we're trying to find a way so that we do the updates still, but we don't have to charge all of those when needed. One of the things that I'm finally getting the numbers all together. We'll start posting all of the financial information on all of the funding that we have. I'm hopeful that by the middle of June, first part of July, you'll be able to see all. Because those are public dollars, everybody should know about all of it. So those are some of the things that we're working on. The last one that I want to get is this inventory. One of the things that I've been trying to get my team to do is we really need an exact count of how many cattle beds we have, how many culverts we have, how many bridges we have. It's kind of like the same question that veterans get asked here. How many veterans are in each agency? We need that data to say, because this is really good, guys. I appreciate everybody that took the time to do this, because we need to know everything that's here so that we can then develop the resources to say, we are affiliates of Law Culverts. They Washington, we put it at 80% stuff we need that. They reservations of that. Like one chapter that I know that they are just you see that say that and hello, kind of like remember when we said that every chapter is just gonna get 15 miles, or it's 8 the area 300 miles, the area 1,200 miles. It's all different. But and hello, that we have to work on. So the same way that we have to get those inventory piece to get all of these numbers together so that we can present factual data on an actual situation. So I just want to add a little bit on. So thank you.
Let me ask you, so if you're saying the formula, then that's a federal formula. So what projects did not submit to our senators and representatives for congressional appropriation? Because that was due last Friday.
Those ones we really coordinate by the chapters. So those ones we do like supplementary for all of those ones in there.
But your program can apply, so what projects did you apply? No, this is for Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico. This is the federal budget, so we're talking about federal dollars. And Mr. Patero mentioned that their percentage hasn't changed. It's very hard. Most tribes are against now. So we're always outnumbered, outmanned at the federal level. But we could start asking for federal appropriation individual projects. I'm asking NDOT what individual projects would be asked for. The chapter could have asked, but also the program could ask. So what projects would be asked for?
So the ones that we applied for is called the SS4A. And I can't remember the acronym that stands for that, but all the counties and all the states applied with it. So we got ours in a good 2 weeks before it was due last month. And then there's another one that we have Mr. Jonah Begay that he helps out with grants. And I don't have his list, but he's done about, I'd say, 8 grants. So far, we've done about 10, all for transportation.
For that SSRA, is that a grant? What I'm talking about is what they call FORK for the veterans. You could ask for a complete bridge to be funded through through like Senator Kelly's office? Did you ask for any of your projects to be completely funded through the federal budget?
No, with the bridges, we go with what we call the bridge program.
No. This is not bridge. Like, I'm talking about extra money. That's why they call it port. There's money out there, and then they have extra money. Did NDOT ask for any of that extra money? Maybe Mr. Patel, you know what I'm talking about?
The only one that I know of that I did myself in the journal was we requested for 5 million for 5 yards in Mexico, but they came back with us as there's a 20% match on those requests that are coming in. And we do have the money, we have 25 money in the T-tip that will meet that match. We also have some savings, the unexpended dollars. The unexpended dollars go all the way back to 18, and we're trying to clean all of those ones up. The difficulty of asking for additional dollars is we're not spending the money that we're getting underneath the other side. And a lot of that is due to meeting the compliance requirements. And that's why in my time there, we purposely hired people with environmental background. The new deputy has worked with Arizona DOT, California DOT, Oregon DOT, New York DOT, and they're going to be working on setting up a direct agreement with Federal Highway Administration for our NEPA approvals rather than going through the BIA. So that agreement I'm hoping to have completed by this summer so that all of the ones that are there, because I think we have a better chance of categorical exclusion requests through Federal Highway than we do through BIA. Those, once we get those out of the compliance section of it, because everything has to go from planning to clearances, to design, to construction, to maintenance. We're stuck trying to get past the compliance portion of it. And that's where we're trying to do a direct agreement. The only ones that we would have to go through BIA on is if we're going to add it to BIA inventory. And at this point, we're trying not to add more to BIA inventory because it's just a mess. The other part of it is we're going to be now pursuing a self-governance agreement with Federal Highway. I did have a concern because it was an audit, 2 audit findings. One of them was on inventory, and we believe we fixed that one. The other one is a legislative issue. It's not a legislative issue, there's a section in the procurement process that says based on the 50,000 cap, the 50,000 cap, if you're going to buy something that's $60,000 or more, then you need an original estimate on it. And not all our procurement has that. Allegedly, Controller is working on modifying that. Remember, you modified the code, but you haven't modified the procurement regulations to tie into the new numbers that are underneath the code. So the code of revision is made, but the regulations haven't updated to reflect the new authorization within the code. And that's the one I believe Bazowski is working on. But we need to get those ones done because that will have an adjustment in there that will then have an impact. Like chapters, you guys probably need to say the care that we do. That 50,000, they're trying to raise it to 100,000, and that's where former Speaker David is the one that modified that legislation to legal. But the regulation side of it has to be updated, and that includes, I believe, the language that will take that and bring it all into compliance. So those are the adjustments that need to be made, and so if we can help us in anything to get the regulations updated, then that will solve our second question. The first question was an inventory question, and what we determined, because we met with KPMG and the auditor that's there, was it was a communication issue. The auditors were speaking to the wrong people, and so we had a property person in there, and it looks like we fixed that one over there. So that's the little adjustments that we're working on.
Okay, but you didn't apply to congressional.
We did for maintenance service. Yeah.
Can you send me that?
Yeah. What's from Fernandez?
Budget?
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I want to add is that the Navajo Nation is too big for the tribal transportation program. We really should be funded at the state. We have the inventory of the state. So the congressional, if we can get their approval to get it at 51 state and get funded at that level, we share it's going on.
Okay.
All right, please.